Most of our conversations that we have get pretty serious. And I guess if people were not to see you outside or behind our interviews, off the record, they won't see that you've got quite a good sense of humour as well. I want 5 things that make you either laugh about boxing or 5 things you've heard in boxing that have made you laugh.
Don King gave me a check one time. I think it was $73,000, $72,000, but our agreement was for $100,000. So I got upset. I said, "Hey, Don," I said, "Well, yeah, what is this?" He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, I mean, this is, I was stuttering and stuff. I was talking to Don King, and I'm like saying, "Well, what is this?" He said, "What is what?" I said, "This here." I said, "It says $72,000, but our agreement is for $100,000. I'm not getting what I'm worth here." And Don King turned around and told me, he said, "Come over in the corner." Everybody was standing there, and other people in his office, and I stood over. He said, "You never get what you're worth. You get what you negotiate." He said, "Read the fine print." He gave me $20 bill and said, "Go get yourself some lunch and I'll see you around." I thought that was funny. I was mad as hell, but it was funny. And I was thinking to myself, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't say, that was funny. Some other thing. Don King told me, he said that I loved my fighter. Don said, he said, "You got the wrong concept about this here." He said, "I fall in love with winning." He said, "The only way I can help your losing ass fighter is to get with the winner." He said, "One day we're going to meet on the 80th floor in one of these high-rise apartment buildings right here in New York." He said, "That's right." He said, "I'm going to be on the inside making multi-million-dollar deals, and you're going to be on the outside washing windows because you fell in love with the product, and I fall in love with winning."
Wow.
Yeah, it was humiliating, but it was the truth. I wasn't laughing then. I wasn't laughing then. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and when I was making a contract with Don, I was in his hotel room. I was in a hotel room with Don King. This thing started in his office at 1:00 in the afternoon, and it spilled over to about 3:30, 4:00 in the morning. Trying to make this contract, trying to hack and chop and hack and chop and hack and chop. And so Don said, "Okay, what I'll do is I'll give you 43%. 43% of the money off television. In other words, if we fight on pay-per-view, we can't get 100,000. But if your fight is aired on pay-per-view, you can. You get 100,000. So the young man that was with me, I won't mention his name, he jumped up and tried to sign the contract. So I grabbed his hand and said, "Just wait a minute now, let's just hold up." I said, "Don, I was thinking that we can get 50% on television and 100% on." And Don paused, and there was a lady there, a white lady. She was there. She was a stenographer. It's 3:30 in the morning. He had 2 big dudes there, big white dude, big black dude. There was two and a half of me. They threw my ass out the window. They said, he looked at me. He said, "MF, you raggedy ass, MF, you poor ass," used the N-word.
Yes.
And Don turned and said, "Hey, don't nobody get offended here because they say nothing but 2 brothers from the hood having a little conversation." He said, "I'm trying to make a rich end out of you. I'm a rich end. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to make you a rich end. But you come up here trying to tell me how to do my contract, this, that, this, that, this, that, this." And I actually got really, really pissed off. I was really angry with him. I saw myself in slow motion leaning across the bed trying to grab him around the throat and choke him. Because I was angry. I was really emotional angry. I was a lot younger then.
Yeah.
And I was a hothead. I said, I'm going to get this guy. You know, I'm going to bust this guy right in the mouth, you know. And I felt my mother, like my mother from the grave, I felt my mother touch me on the shoulder and say, easy, easy. She said, son, she said, when you got your head in the lion's mouth, she said, don't snatch it out. She said, ease it out. Ease it out. So I looked at him, I said, Don, I said, I look up to you, man. I said, I got a lot of respect for you, because he was the man at that time. There was no Golden Boy and Jay-Z and all the other organizations that's out there now. Bob was there, but Don was the man that was most accessible to blacks. Mm-hmm. So I said, Don, I look up to you. I got my negotiating skills by watching you over the years and stuff. I said, I really look up to you, and I try to pattern my moves after you. And Don looked at me and said, yeah, I know what you're doing. I know just what you're doing. He said, you're stroking me. He said, and every black person like to be stroked. He said, tell me how much of a great trainer, a great promoter I am. Go ahead, tell me how great I am. I said, you are great. I said, you're the best in the world. You're the best friend. He said, go ahead, keep on talking like that. He said, give him the paper. He said, give him the contract. And he said, give him the highlight. He said, highlight out of the contract, which you want out. And he said, I'm going to give you a shout out. He said, I'm going to give you $50,000 off television. I'm going to give you $100,000 on television. You know what I'm saying? And I got the contract. I got out of there with the contract I wanted. And Don stuck his head out the door as I was leaving. He said, and have your boy ready in 5 weeks. He said, because you're going to fight in Madison Square Garden on the undercard to William Joppy and Felix Trinidad. Have your boy ready. You know? And my guy went there and lost. But we got the 100,000. 3 weeks after that, Don put us in again. My guy went and lost to Henry Akinwande. Got knocked out in the first round. Then Don put us in another fight in Atlantic City. Well, he didn't put us in the fight. Cedric Kushner was giving the fight. And it was a fight. It was a tournament. The name of the tournament, you can find it on YouTube, and the name of the tournament was Fistful of Dollars.
I remember that tournament.
And I took my guy down there, and Don told me, he cautioned me, he said, if you guys go down there and lose, it's over. It's game over. I'm going to give you the contract back. But for $100,000, we had to take a shot, you know. I think the second place got about $30,000 or something. But we shoot for the $100,000. He said, you're taking a chance now. He said, if you go down there and lose, we're done. And we went down there and won. We won. And the funny thing was that the guy that won the money, he said, when we get back home, we're gonna split the money up. I said, no. He had 2 girls with him. 2 women was with him, 2 nice looking women. He said, when we get back home, we're gonna split this money up. And I said, no. I said, look, I don't know. I said, from here, I have to drive down south to see my mother. You know, I got my aunt or my sister or somebody, but I said, I need to get my money tonight. Because I didn't want him to be with those women. That I said, no, I need my money tonight. So let's go down there. Don had somebody down there to cash the check. You know, I said, no. He said, well, you don't think I'm going to get? I said, no, I trust you, but listen, I need my money tonight. Mm-hmm. I work tonight, and I need my money tonight. You got to give me 10,000 of that 100,000. You got to give me another 3,500 as gratuity. All right. Once I got that money, and said, hey, man, I love you a lot. I got to go. Once I got my money, I had time to go. So those, to me, those was funny stories. They was funny stories because it looked as though you don't trust me. In the back of my mind, I was saying, hell no. And he got 2 nice looking women with him too. I said, In Atlantic City, Saturday night, no, sir, no. I need my money now. I thought they were gonna fleece him for that money. Give me my money now. When I got that money, I had crisp $100 bills. Shucks, man. I put that in my jacket pocket and zipped my jacket pocket up. And man, I was in heaven. I said, I'm out of here, you know. Funny, that was not even funny to me.